Hello guys, it's Mika and welcome back. I know it's been almost a year. um, Things have happened and I got really busy. I did have my setup and I did have everything ready way before March. But long story short, I met like a lot of great people and I've been kind of spending my time with them recently, and now I'm finding time for gaming again, and yeah, I think it's really awesome. I had to change my mic. I really hope this one works well. The other one I know we were having a lot of trouble with. So yeah, we're going to get into it and I hope you enjoy. This is called a Mortician's Tale. It's a very short game, it's about an hour. If you're not comfortable with the thought of death, with seeing a dead body, even if it's like cartooned, I would recommend you not watching me play this game, which is completely okay. I'll play another game very soon. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy. This looks really nice. This looks like a really good game. So we're gonna get into it. The game is very loud for me. Oops, I didn't say that. So I'm hoping it's not too bad for you guys. But yeah, we'll get started. September 14th, 10:15. Oh, it's a click. I like clicks. So we have an email. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet ya. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to ya, and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever heard that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to ya when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy's a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello, welcome to our new funeral director. Hello everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me that she likes to be preferred too. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little bit better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder and director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello, Charlie. I hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Miss Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to make the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon, Amy Rose. Instructions. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experienced work with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. Oh. Jen Love. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that we're able to land this gig straight after graduation. It sounds super cool. I didn't know Mom and Pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think about much, you know? I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry because, as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario. Serial killer capital of Canada. Oh, I'm from Canada, so that's really funny. To work in a museum, take that everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for Funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you and super proud of you gift. Love you, Jen L. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we'll bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. Okay. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are. Because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that. But here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally following the guidelines of don't be an jerk should work. That should be a jerk, but okay. 1. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and a place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own way. Just remember to be respectful when with grieving family and friends. Happy reminiscence. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of healing and processing. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture. But always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can be even just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care want to help them through the healing process. It's what matters here. Be kind and thankful. Okay. So I guess we will get started. And there is our first... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But also... Oh my god. Man. Being dead is expensive. Man, that sucks. Okay. Oh. Okay. This is the prep room where you'll be prepared, where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewing. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click the sponge. Whew. Oh. That's it, you're done. Miss Gracia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in a casket. It's time to go to Miss Gracia's funeral. You're responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it is also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Okay. Oh, here we are. So I guess I just talk to people. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leak into the ground? It seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. Like, that's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Aww. We usually don't small talk a lot in these things. At least that's what I was always taught. She would hate these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. Aw. And I guess that's it. Huh. October 11th, 10:09 a.m. Got another email. I'm so frustrated right now. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered towards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing in her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceratosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling but can also be caused by being pregnant, so the corset's probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage, and I'm tired of the condescensions about my wardrobe. That also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about it. I'm having a day, Charlie. Jano, you seem creator. Can I rant for a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blazer, so it's not like I'm dressed inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate when their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit. I think that was probably the... yeah. Okay, so we'll read the bottom part first, because that makes more sense. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, shared stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way, and I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for us. Best, Maya. Just passing this message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. Amy Rose. A story about death. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange I know, did I ever tell you that the first time I went to the funeral, I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident. Totally out of the blue, really tragic stuff. Messaged me and my friends up real good. Oh, messed. I'm so sorry. But the big day, we all got into our best suits, dressed up, and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we were in the process of going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know to not get in the way of a precision drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one got the phone call, hung up, and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they're going full off into the deep end. And she laughed. And then we all just started giggling because, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remembered that story and wanted to tell you because we work with death all the time and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that means. Oh, before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Funerals monthly. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around a grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and works for us. Did you know that this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol of mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol of mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite our best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you wear and more about how modest you're dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of clothing isn't as important as dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Oh, interesting. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule of any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you. So be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral. Or even if it just means asking how you can be appropriately showing your respects. Alright, now for our job. Hi Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral and embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Best. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Okay. Huh? Oh, right, I have to... I'll get on it. Oh. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. I'll start by cleaning the body. Use a sponge. Now grab the razor. In order to break rigor mortis, you will have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Ooh, this is weird. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket. Ooh. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue. Oh. Mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag cotton balls into the mouth. Oh my god. To keep the mouth shut, you'll need to sew it. Oh. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Also, it's gonna add more lotion. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserved chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. Oh. You're going to need a tube to drain the blood. Oh. Click on the canal and drag it. Canal? Oh. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the canal. Oh. What? Oh, grab some additional tubing. What? What? You'll need to connect the embalming machine to the canal. Grab some additional tubing. Oh, tubing. Alright, what? Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the canal. That's... Huh? There we go. Click the button to start the embalming. Ooh. Oh, that's so weird. So we're massaging the body right now to get the blood out. Oh, that's so interesting. And now, great. Now let's sew the incision. Well done. You need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar, then click and hold on the abdominal until all the fluid has been drained. Oh, I didn't hold it long enough. Okay. Oh, and you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in a casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Man, this game is so interesting. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, one minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah. It's weird to think about for too long. Like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird. How our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. Yeah. So strange, not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like, definitely not red, no matter what. We always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loves playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Alright. Is there any additional conversations? I don't think so. Yeah. Time to pay respects. December 2nd, 10:22 a.m. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me for any questions. To Amy. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Meet cutes for death positive cuties? Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's a dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned to anybody since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom ran over. I'm going to try it out. Because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them that you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by the best of friends who is as much of weirdos as I am. Missia, let's grab a bottle of wine on our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name of the death industry dating website? Tender rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Jen L. Paycheck coming links, sorry. I don't like the look of this. Not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. Small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with bigger guys. Anyways, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar. I'm going to take this hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so worried. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15. Chicken link, sorry. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut your check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I can cut you a check from my personal account. Aww, if I need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Ooh. Sorry, I saw LGBTQ. These things are always so freaking long to read. My god. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about this misgendering the transgender people are, at times, subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut or buried under the wrong name and subjected to the wrong pronouns to their obituary announcements. Sorry. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraud directive: enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use their symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leave it up to observations, obviously. Enters into a world of issues, since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. Florida has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouse and friends that survive the deceased. So, what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is always to ensure that deceased receive the utmost respect in their burial. If the funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Okay. So we're doing a cremation. Ooh. Before we cremate Miss Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Miss Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Hall's necklace. Click and drag. We need to be able to identify Miss Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round certification and place it in the coffin. Great. Miss Hall is all set for I thought we had to remove her clothes. Just the necklace? Okay. Miss Hall is set for cremation now. Okay. I thought it said we were supposed to remove her clothes, but that's okay. Oh. Oh boy. This is a cremator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn the bodies into ash as much as bone fragments. Use a cremulator. We'll break those bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremator. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back to the counter. Make sure that Miss Hall's necklace back into the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click the round certification and drop it into the urn. Last step, close the urn. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. This is nice, in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Oops. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted a smiling. She said so. Glad she's cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have it. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. Nothing else. February 14th, 10:14 a.m. Oh, God. Hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email. Resources I googled told me that it would be best and easiest way to break the ice, be direct, be remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to keep Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all became like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are, that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought. Or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorp., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though, honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation, and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell, as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but admittedly, I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Hi Amy, I am so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy without it. Okay. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see that thank you note. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out. And you would know somebody I would talk to about all this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in pain anymore. But I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough. With work and the will to try to just be the best mom she can. I just need someone to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience, Ryan. I thought I'd forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships of your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Charlie! I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disrupt the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us gets into town next. Jen L. You lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution, and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least, that's the thinking of a lot of people who are turning the green on natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's the bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in the biodegradable shroud of casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for the big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We are at Funerals Monthly thinking green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Cremation with pacemaker. Hi, Amy. You asked if there was any specific instructions we wanted to pass along. Just, please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks. Please see the note below about the peacemaker. Thank you. They can be tricky. Best. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove from the cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. Click and drag. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps. Oh. Then place the round certification in the coffin. This is a really interesting game. I have a feeling this might be the last one. Oh, sorry. All done. You will take the urn with some flowers. Aww. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No. We talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Aw, that's sad. I always told him to quit smoking. Of course, he never listened to me, so that figures. Like my dad. Oh, we have another. February 28th, 10:35 a.m. Just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and apologies if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Thought I'd pass this along to you. Oh. I'm gonna read that last. Mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. Hey, I hate mushrooms too. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker. Look what we've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wear. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, naturalize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this is one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death and innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love ya. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably gonna do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Funeral Monthly. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comfortable to other people, but fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is, Funeral Monthly's top 5 things not to say at a funeral. At least they're no longer suffering. Even if it's true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it is true, don't be that jerk and don't say that. Were they saved? No religious statements, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is not always comforting, it can also be insulting. They're with the angels now. See above's note, then rinse, repeat. Let me know how I can help. This one's tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need somebody to babysit the kids. And actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant, or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of the list can be applied in any situation. Don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what to say. Our son. Charlie, I'm hoping you wouldn't have to confront the situation. Yet, anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for a cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance director regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for your funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is the suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need. Our son. Good day, Miss Rose. disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. God, that's heavy. I'm going to do it in case it shows anything about how he did it. If you're not comfortable with suicide, please click away. I'll put a little timestamp of when it'll end, like around here somewhere. Yeah. Yes, I'm comfortable with this. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's clean the body. Shave the body. Massage. Insert eyes. Glue shut. Cotton balls in mouth. Sew shut. Lotion. Incision. Tube. Canal. Tube. And start. If anyone decided to just click away and listen, it doesn't show anything of how he ended. It's just the body. Sew shut. Oops, that's the knife. And drain. Oops. All done. Mike will take care of Mr. Scott's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. Man, that's heavy. Quite sucks. That's so sad. I wish we were closer. Wow, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I heard it was going to be an open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for the circumstances are more private. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know? Been able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. You wouldn't have wanted that. I know, it hurts. Yeah, I know. This poor kid. March 3rd, 10:45 a.m. Welcome. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be the leading way for Rose and Daughters from now on. What the hell? Can I just say, first off, this is all bullcrap? Ugh. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who cares this much about funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a coffee after work. I need to blow off some steam. And emails aren't really the most appropriate way to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. Death Cafe. Ooh. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." So people at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with this inguinal hernia from 1970. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see the bits of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with the feeling of restlessness you're talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe place. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with a death, but the goal is almost always the same: offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed, up until burial. The body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic communities, organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religious focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the moment of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a lot to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often. But there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expenses of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever heard of the turning of the bones, or Famadihana, a ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong, as families return to an ancient ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is celebration, remembrance, and way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a beauty in the ways that we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Charlotte. Ew! You're supposed to call me Charlie. I already hate you. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the request specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Wow, I don't like you. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you. Ooh. Remember in the beginning when we told everyone we wanted to be called Charlie? Well, fuck that guy, because he's refusing. Prepare Miss Longskow's body for cremation. Great. Miss Longskow is all set. We'll break the bones into ash. Done. Well done. Matthew will take Miss Lunt's urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside the flowers. It says that we can... I never noticed this. I wonder if this changes anything. Like, if we get any new emails. No. Oh. Jeez. I think I need to clean my computer. Should we do a vigil at some point? Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and binge watch something right now. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No, thanks. But no, I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah. She was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah. Yeah, she was special. She was always so careful, wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes, asked drivers they need to pay attention. Have you heard what happened to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leia. This has been hard enough on them, without asking about the legal ramifications of it all. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. March 24th, 10:30 a.m. Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprise. First and foremost, there's a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second most important thing is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. Why? Why would that matter? When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase a higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Jesus fucking Christ. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Fuck this guy. Our partner Catering Concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effectively immediately to ensure a smooth transition to the high quality service Hillside Heritage Corp is known for. Fuck you. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry, and no, I will not say hangry ever. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprise can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they do not cost. Fuck you! They are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Inc. must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose the traditional burial package. Instead, I trust you will ensure we do not lose customers. Just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs, like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. Oh, you're so long. The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It isn't that long ago that we are taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option, and assume this mandatory funeral mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive, but this isn't a process counterintuitive to the grieving process. Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a long period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow the process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost up to $7,000 to $10,000. When you are able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their reviewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director involvement from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. But just know that this may be an option available to you or your loved ones if so chose. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Stop calling me Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost-effective of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. Man, this guy really seems like a dick. We'll need to prepare his body. He doesn't need to have any valuables on him that would be damaging during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin. This gentleman is all set for cremation now. I wonder if we're gonna get in trouble because we don't follow dress code. Alright. Oh wow. I kind of figured, but it's so weird seeing it empty. April 9th, 10:19 a.m. Hello all, we are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which takes over 100,000 patients and receives over 15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon of Hillside Heritage Enterprise. Bright and sustained future. I'm done. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself, but you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. I kissed her. Dating a special effects artist. And she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scene, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. I have to burp, I'm sorry. Ugh. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super deaf positive, and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like the last dude I saw. Jason, Michael, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that I like working with death, and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of the Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? I know you have my support 100%, no matter what you decide. Oh, I think we're thinking of quitting too. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation. A bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resumation? Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis? Whatever we want to call it, it's here, and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment. The high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up very high, about 350 Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory. And alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in the same places, became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. Charlotte, I see you are not able to convince the Mika family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. This is part of your job. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Jesus fucking Christ. Sure thing. I'll get on it. I feel like I kind of saw the tab. I'm gonna go back to the computer after I do this, like before the funeral. It said something about a business. I'm wondering if we're going to make our own funeral home. Haha, yes we are. What is your business? Funeral service. If you're interested in starting a funeral service business, you may need the following permits and license. Nice. Oh wow. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh, hey. What do you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I heard that show was so good. I saw that video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. It's so cold in here. I think they have their air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. Would be good to stretch our legs. You can really see that, like, after the corporation took over, it's just every funeral is becoming less and less personal, and it really shows. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey. But what that chat guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. wish I wouldn't have yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. I'm gonna miss her. Me too. Yeah. Fucking Chad. Of course his name's fucking Chad. August 30th, 9 a.m. Ooh, the music's different. Yes! Aww. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you from Rosen Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes. P.S. I surely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. Matthew. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree, and thankfully I concentrated on my driving skills, since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell ya. For some reason I was worried you'd think less of me. But I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute. But don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. See ya. Congrats. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you stuck through it like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying to not be too cheesy right now. I can't wait to come home next week for a visit and check out your new place. Always. P.S. Have you heard about those green burial pods? When I think the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. I'll see you soon. Oh, look at her little outfit. Oh shit. Oh shit, it's a green burial. Oh, that's so cool. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but thank you for helping me give her the funeral she's always wanted. Anyways, I think we're ready to start. Oh, I was gonna talk to the others. Okay. Man. Oh, I loved that. That was actually a really good game. I wasn't expecting a lot. I really thought it was just gonna be like a I don't know what I was expecting, honestly, but that was actually a really good game. It had actually a really good story to it. Yeah. Fuck corporations. Or most of them. You could tell, like, how bad it got once a corporation took over. Pets? Aw. Hell yeah. This was also at Nichio, by the way. It was about $9. Aw. Aw, that was lovely. I actually really like that. Alright. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. And I'm sorry again. It took me almost a year to come back to YouTube. But I'll be making videos again regularly. And yeah. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.